Hey guys, I had a long day at work today, so I'm getting ready to start on a test drawing. Um, so I'm gonna move my rocks that I started working on out of the way. I still haven't sprayed down this with fixative, so I'll get around to it when I get around to it, and then I can scan in everything. Okay, I wanted to show you guys this. This is just a piece of paper that I poked holes in using different items. I don't know if I'll be able to find them because I've been moving stuff around because I put in more memory into my computer for gaming, of course. Actually, so I can, so that for my, because sometimes I have more than one graphic design program open depending on what I'm working on. And I don't use my programs for like art. I use them for like, making banners and stuff, web design stuff. So I guess I could like maximize my knowledge of the programs if I actually learn how to use them for art. I mean, we did stuff in school, but when you're in school, it's basically they're teaching you stuff just to get by. And if you want to learn more, you got to do it out on your own. And I basically learned what I needed to know and let it go at that. So I'm not maximizing my programs. So hopefully soon I will be able to add that to my list of things I want to do. Okay, anyway, I can't find, I had a pen, like you put on your clothes, and I used that to punch these smaller holes. And then I used these smaller ones here. Then I just took a, I have a smaller one here. This might be in my bag. But I have a small tortillon. I just used it to kind of widen the holes a bit. And this is what I'm using to get the speckles on my rocks that you guys can see here. I don't have the light on because lately, the last couple of days since the weather's been changing, I suffer from migraines. So with that other light on, I think it's not helping. But if you can see this rock over here that has like the speckles on it, this one, and then there's a couple over here, and so that's what I'm using to get that texture for the rocks. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys. So okay, let's get into testing the smoother paper. Now this is 100-pound paper, acid free, heavyweight for finished work, pen and ink, sans acid, blah 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 blah. And it's a Bristol smooth surface, and it says it's for pen and ink, but you can use it for whatever you want to use it for. So I'm trying to use it with to see how the rock will look with this versus how the rock will look. It looks on the other paper. So I'm just gonna get my regular number 2 pencil, which is a HB, to just do a quick circle, and it totally feels different drawn on this paper versus drawn on the other one. I can tell that already. The surface feels slicker, like the pencil slides over it a lot easier. Okay, so we're just gonna, because the bottom of this rock is kind of cut off and it's not perfectly shaped just like this rock. This is just I don't know if you guys are able to see that. This is just yeah, it's too much light for me. I'm sorry. So I have my circle here, and now I'm just going to lightly shade it in. And this, because the rock is slightly circular in shape, I'm just going to fill it in right now, and then I'll smudge it with the tortilla. So I'm just doing a light shading, and I hope you guys can see this. Let me see if I can adjust this camera for you. I need to get a soft white light or a natural light, because this, the light here is the bulb is, it's a 100-watt bulb, and it is irritating my eyes lately. Okay, hopefully you guys can see this. I'm going to see if I can get it to focus, autofocus. Okay, all right, hopefully you guys can see this. Yeah, okay, so just doing a light, and I'm not cross hatching. I'm going to be using the tortilla with this. Okay, so you can see this tortilla, it already has graphite on it. I'm going to be using the other side that doesn't have as much graphite on it to work this graphite in. And this is the rock that I'm working on, that one right there. Let me see if I can get this. You guys can see. Okay, this rock right here is the one that I'm working on right now. And this rock doesn't have that many dark speckles on it. Most of the speckles on this particular rock are light in color. It's like little white speckles. So I'll have to go back and use my little tool, and I'll show you how I use the eraser with that tool. Okay. Alright. I'm liking this already. Okay. Now, the next thing that I did was, okay, so that was with a number 2 pencil doing my initial shading. So the next one I'm going to use is my 4B. That's my 2B. But I can use my 2B. I'm going to use my 2B next. And I'm going to go in, and you can see on the picture, if you can see on the picture, notice how that rock has shading like right over in here. It's darker over here, and then of course you have the edge to the next rock over there, and an edge over here to the next rock. So I'm gonna put shading right over in that area, and then I'm gonna lighten up the rock in places that it needs to be lightened up. And so this shaded area is kind of like triangular in shape, but remember this rock is round. So I'm gonna actually holding my pencil lightly, and if you wanted to make sure you don't get any oils and stuff on your paper, you can use a slip sheet. But I'm just gonna make little marks starting at the edge, what I perceive to be the edge, and going up in a little sweeping motion. So that's all I'm doing, just very lightly going up in a sweeping motion along this bottom edge of my rock. Okay? And I'm just going to go over it just a couple more times, and I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to do with it. And you can just do like one layer and then use your tortilla or smudge stick on that, or you could do like a couple of layers like I just did, and then you can go back in with your tortilla. So it's going to be darker around this edge here. So I'm going to actually use my dirty side for that edge, and I'm smudging. I'm going up. See, I'm going up, like pulling the not charcoal, but pulling the graphite upwards. And that's what I'm doing, and I'm doing this until it's blended out. I wish you guys could see closer. I guess if I turn the light away, maybe that'll help. Okay, so you guys might be able to see that. So I'm just I'm just pulling, using my dirty side, I'm just pulling this color up in a curving way, like this, like an arc, like a little short arc, because this is a round object. Okay, now you might not be able to see it in this picture, but it's killing me with this camera angle. This portion here, like, dips in, it like rolls in. What's the word? It's caved in, concave, I guess. Concave, I guess it's like concave, like bow, if I remember right. Concave is like bow, and convex is like oval. Alright, so this section here, so I'm gonna be going this way, and this section is lighter than this section down here, so I'm gonna be using my light side. And so I need to find my 2B. Where did I put it at? Okay, and I just need to put just a little bit of graphite because I'm gonna be using my light side in the area I think that it's gonna be coming from. So I'm just putting a little bit of graphite down. And the lighter you go, the better, because the easier to be if you need to go in and make corrections. If it's like, if you start dark, you're limiting what you can do with that project. Okay, so I'm just going down now, and where I perceive the shape of that little divot to be. Okay, and now once again I'm going to go around my edge and darken that a little with the dirty side. And now I'm going to go back to my light side and do my little divot. And you just keep doing this to how you see the shadow. Okay. Alright. And so, remember how I said this side of the rock is a little bit darker, like it's light, like this section here. You can almost see it taking shape on this paper. You can come around this corner over here, and it also has a little bit of a dark spot. So that's what I'm doing now with the dirty sides. I'm coming over here to this corner and putting in that dark area there, and then like this edge is dark, so I'm coming around this edge and just bringing that in just a little teeny bit. And then there's a little triangular shape here that's dark. Okay. Alright, and so I think I kind of got the areas on my paper that are dark. So what I'm going to do now is I need to get this surface area just a little bit darker, and then I'll lighten it up. So I'm getting out my where's my H or my B? Pretty sure I got one over here. That's my H. That's HB. 3B. That's 8. 2. Yeah, I got a lot of pencils that's the same. That's when just you buy different. Here's the B. You buy different pencils, and you end up like you use up a color, but you still have your other ones left. Like H pencils will last you freaking forever. Those H pencils I have are probably 8 or 9 years old. The B's don't last as long simply because they're so freaking soft. So you use those up faster than you would your H's, which are harder, and the H stands for hard. And I'm just using little light strokes, trying not to be heavy-handed, and just keep working on my drawing. Darkening the areas I think need to be darkened, just to represent what I perceive to be the areas. I'm not an expert. I can call myself a doodler. I'm just trying to share this with you guys to see the difference that a different type of paper will make. And this is working out a lot easier than the paper I had before in class. So, but I have so much time already invested in that paper that yeah. So I just wanted to see and if this would be easier for drawing the smoother surfaces, and it is. So I'm using the clean side because remember this area, I don't want it to be as dark as the other areas of this rock. So now I'm just shading it out. Okay, now for my template, show you guys how I use it. You can see these speckles, right? There's some darker little speckles, like little freckles all over this rock. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my little template I made, and I'm just gonna go in different places and put some dark speckles. So I'm just gonna sit it down where I think I might have some dark speckles, and it's random. Ain't nobody gonna sit there and count every speckle on this daggone rock, and if you do, you have OCD issues. I don't believe in perfection. I believe that anything that is considered to be perfect, and I'm just using the B pencil to make these marks. Anything that is considered perfect on this planet, I don't think will be on this planet for long. Okay. And you can kind of look, if you hold it directly over the paper, the light passing through these little pinholes will kind of show you where these are going to land at, and you can just, you know, line it up. I think you guys can see that. If you can see as I get closer to the paper, I'm not sure you can see it. There you go. You see the little lights up under there? That's the pinhole. So you can kind of hold it directly over it, and you can kind of figure out where to sit your paper so it's not like overlapping. But in nature, some of them look like they overlap. So, you know, just if they're going to touch, let them touch. I mean, you know, that's just how rock is made. Okay, so those are my dark spots for this rock. And I can put some more along the edges and stuff. I'm sure there's probably some kind of professional whole template. But this is what I came up with to help me. I could add more holes to it if I wanted to. But I like the randomness of these. And it's working for me. Okay. And just add some more. And then I'm going to show you guys how I made the white spots. Alright. So I got my dark spots and where I think I want them to be. Okay. Now for my light spots, take your template and see your dark side where you were doing it, turn it, put it down this way so that you got your little raised edges up. And you're going to need an eraser. I have my electric eraser here, but I also have somewhere, I have my pink pearl eraser. It's probably in my bag. So hold your template down firmly. So I'm gripping my thumb along the edge of this desk. And you just hold it down and you just run your, I need to put some more batteries in here. I think my son's been playing with it. And you just hold it down. Alright, I need to get my pink pearl. Those batteries are about there. Pink pearl. Drop them pencils. Right, here are those. Here's that skinny tortilla I was telling you guys about. And here's my kneaded eraser, Mason and Kieran. I'm gonna pick on old people. Oh, I forgot I had my headset on. I dropped 2 pencils. I'll get them up in a minute. But so yeah, so just hold your paper down tightly, and you just take your eraser and go over the holes. All right, let's take it, move that out of the way. And I also have some big holes because some of these spots are kind of big. So I also have these big holes over here, and using those as well, just to do some random big holes. Okay. And we put our little holes back over here. And it's only going to lift up just a little bit of color with these little ones, but that's what you want. Because you want to see how subtle it is, and they overlap all over the place. And so you just keep doing it until you're happy with the holes, with the little white spots you're making on your rock. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys what this looks like up close. Where's my brush? Okay. Alright. So, okay. Get this to focus. I think you guys can see that. Yeah. So you can see the little white speckles and stuff around my rock. Now, on the picture, these are not so dark. So what you can do is take your kneaded eraser. This is what I did. Just take your kneaded eraser and just make sure your surface is nice and flat. So I just took it and I lifted the color a little bit over the entire piece. Okay, and that kind of dulled down those dark spots. You know, it seems like a lot of work. I mean, so that's what I did. And that kind of dulled them down, faded them in a little bit. But now I got to go back in and work with my shading. So that's the whole process. And so now I'll take and get out my B. What's the HB? I get it using my 2B. And just put down just a little bit more of this shading over here on this rock. Okay. Let's put a little bit down. Put some more over here on the sides. Just very light, very gentle with your pencil. Okay. Then you get your tortilla and use your clean side. But for the edge, you can use your dark side. And remember, do your little curving motion and pull that shading up into the area so that it'll be a gradient. It gets lighter as it goes further away from the edge. And remember, this rock is sort of spherical. Remember to take that into account. Now let me other rocks around it. So I'm just pulling that color. Then we're going to just take it over the lighter area and just blend it in. Alright, so now we get to our next rock area. And we're going to use the dirty side of our tortilla or stump. And we're going to get a darker marker out. I'm going to start with my 3B and then go up to my 4B. And maybe up to a 6. But I shouldn't have to go up that high. But let's start with the 2B and see what happens here. So we're just going to put, no, it's too light. Where's my, just the 4B. No. B, H6. Right. Come on now. There you go. Here it is. Alright, so we're just going to put a little bit of the 4B around the edge. Just gentle. You're not pushing this down into the paper. You're just being gentle. Put a little bit of it. Okay. And there's other rocks around this bad boy. So just go ahead and put your little bit down. Alright, and then using your dirty side, we're gonna just gently pull this away from the edge. Just work it in. Just work into the paper. Alright, and then you just build up on it a little more. Now, there is I cannot keep track of nothing today. Alright, there is a little rock here. It's kind of triangular in shape. And it's like wedged right in here. And there's another rock that disappears out of the photo, but the edge kind of comes right here, and then it rounds off right up in here, and it goes that way. And then right up in here, there's another little rock, and it's kind of shaped like that. And from this point about here, this comes like kind of like that. Another rock, okay. And then on this point about here, you have another rock going that way. And then from here, you have another rock. And over here, kind of out of view, you have another kind of rock, and it's kind of like curving this way and going down. Okay, so now you kind of have the outline of the rocks. We're fudging this one because we can't see it because it's out of the picture, so we're going to give it a shape. Okay, so you kind of have the outline of the rocks that are around this one, and I'm doing this lightly because, like I said, if it's light, you can get it off the paper. If it's not light, you can't get it off the paper. Let me see. Okay, so we kind of know where our edges are, and so now we can put in those darker darks. And so I'm pressing harder with my 4B now to get in those darker darks. And so now we're going to go in with this dark side of smudge stick and kind of just smooth those out. Take that graphite into the areas you think it should go. Bring it up into your rock. And you just do this over and over again, using multiple layers, and work your graphite. And you could do this with charcoal. You just keep working those layers of graphite, pressing down, moving that charcoal, that graphite as best you can, going back in, darkening the areas, and you just keep doing it over and over again. And okay, so I hope this helps you guys. And I know some people might say, oh, well, that's boring, and that's exactly what I say. It's boring drawing rocks. But it is the learning process that is what she's trying to teach us, and that is finding out what you can and cannot do with your mediums, and how you can move that graphite over the paper to get it to do what you want it to do without having to go in and do a bunch of shading. To get the graphite, and then you can always just go in and add more color, more graphite. For instance, that little rock there, this little rock is darker than this rock, so I can go ahead and put a darker shade over this little rock, and just I have to go in and keep making my area around it even darker. So go in with my 60, which is even darker than before. So hope you guys like my rock tutorial, or how I'm trying to do the rocks for my class. And paper is important for the technique that you're trying to get across. I still don't like the fact that I can't use charcoal, simply because I don't like dealing with this graphite shine. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm trying to move the paper so you can see the graphite. There you go. You see that graphite shine? And yeah. So have fun. I hope you guys enjoy drawing your own rocks, okay? Take care.